those goosebumps happy.
Spin it back now.
I got those goosebumps happy.
The +2 Sucker Punch is going to do it, and the Boston Red Claws with a shocker here.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to the semifinal match, and today we have the Cuernavaca Cyndaquils versus the Kent Klawfs. My name is Shaka, and I'll be commentating this match today for you. This is going to be very exciting. We're finally here wrapping up the season, and all the teams that have made it through have done phenomenal. So right now we see Groudon, Slowbro, Morgrim, Roaring Moon, Goldengo, and Lilligant Hisuian on the Cuernavaca Cyndaquils team, and we see the Kyogre, Tornadus, Orthworm, Spiritomb, Ursaluna, and Bastion Legion on the Kent Klawfs, which is a very common team that they've been using. So I wonder if Salo's prep took that into account, because that team, we've seen it a few times, but you know, we're going straight into it. So let's go ahead and hope for a solid match here. We do see the Cuernavaca Cyndaquils. We're rocking a team t-shirt, which is really cool. But let's go ahead and see what we got here for this first match. Again, I'm very curious to see how these two teams face off against each other, as we see the Tornadus and Kyogre lead, which is a very dominant lead there. And we do see the Groudon Morgrim. So now we're going to see some speed tiers come into play, where Kyogre sets up the rain first, and then Groudon sets it back into the sun. So that water spout not going to be doing enough damage in comparison to how much it would normally do under the rain. And then the Tornadus obviously can't use that Bleak Wind Storm for a guaranteed hit without the rain either. So there's going to be some setting up needed by the Kent Klawfs here, whereas the Cuernavaca Cyndaquils kind of have the advantage with the sun being on their side. But we do see a Thunder Punch potentially going into the Tornadus, and we do see a surprise. Would that be like Fake Out, maybe Trick? Maybe Fake Out from the Morgrim? So we do see the Fake Out from the Morgrim going into the Kyogre. Not going to be able to do anything this turn. We do see the Rain Dance coming in from the Tornadus. Again, very, very big move there. I guess they ideally probably set the rain back up, go for Water Spout. But we do see a potential Focus Sash on that Tornadus. And we do see the Kyogre, again, not being able to move, but now everything's been set for their benefit. I would anticipate a potential Tailwind from the Tornadus, and then Kyogre under the rain right now should still have enough power to knock out both Mons on the Cuernavaca Cyndaquils side of the field. It'll be very difficult to see an adjustment from the Solo Salo here. But again, the Kent Klawfs dominating right now with their position right now with the rain and that Kyogre there on the field. We do see a Terra coming into the Kyogre slot, and it is going to be a Terra Grass. So again, this looks like the same exact Kyogre that we played a few weeks ago in our featured match. So that Terra Grass Kyogre, as we do see the Terra from the Cuernavaca Cyndaquils as well. And we're going to go ahead and see what happens this turn, because, you know, the Cuernavaca Cyndaquils Terra is more of a defensive Terra in order to survive a potential Water Spout from that Kyogre, even if there were a Tailwind. So we're going to see the play come out here. We do see the Tailwind coming in from the Tornadus. We do see the fact that that Water Spout is going to come up. We do see the Light Screen coming in from the Morgrim in the meantime. So Groudon should be able to survive a Water Spout coming from this Kyogre here, as it does very good with it, actually, in fact. So again, Morgrim's going to go down and did its job, got that Fake Out, got that Light Screen up. But now we're going to go ahead and see there's a Life Orb on that Kyogre. We do see a Thunder Punch going into the Kyogre slot, but again, that other defensive Terra on their side being enough to protect it from that damage. Again, that would have been really great to take down that Tornadus. But now we're going to go see the Roaring Moon coming in from the Cuernavaca Cyndaquils side of the field, as it does have a booster energy. And again, if it's a potential booster energy, and that's a special defense increase, booster energy with probably like Acrobatics would be really good for that Kyogre. But again, the Tailwind is set up right now, so potentially I would probably consider swapping the Kyogre and getting the terrain back, and then potentially taking care of the Tornado so that they can't set the rain up without having to swap the Kyogre. So that way you kind of force the opponent to kind of play around with the switching and you can kind of get some damage in whenever they try to pivot. But right now, it seems like the Cuernavaca Cyndaquils are trying to go for an all-out offense here, whereas I think you might need to reposition the Weather War here and potentially take out the manual Weather Setter in Tornadus, and then focus on the Kyogre as it tries to swap. We do see the Bleak Wind Storm here. We got a critical hit on the Roaring Moon. That's big. The speed decrease on Roaring Moon is going to be big. You do see the Origin Pulse coming in. It's not enough to secure a knockout on either side. The Life Orb damage is going to go ahead and chip on that Kyogre, as we do see the Breaking Swipe from the Roaring Moon, knocking out the Tornadus and hitting the Kyogre as well. Tornadus now being knocked out, so no manual rain there. We do see the Terra Blast coming into Kyogre. That's a water type move, and I think that's enough to secure the knockout. Interesting. That's, I guess, probably a little bit of a boost in rain, but that was a really great turn from the Cuernavaca Cyndaquils. A lot of damage, being kind of like hit with. But overall, I think it's a productive turn. We do see the Earthworm coming in here, and again, Earthworm being such a troublesome Pokemon. As we do see the Basculegion. Now, Basculegion has access to Last Respects. It does get Swift Swim, so this rain is definitely not doing it any sort of benefit for the opponent. As we do see the Cuernavaca Cyndaquils potentially swapping there, and probably going to try to play with that, the weather, like we were talking about earlier, which again, I think in hindsight, the play we were talking about last turn where you potentially like manually swap and take care of the Tornadus. Sure, you still have the Kyogre for another turn, but I think, you probably close enough to dealing the Tailwind out, and then you manually get the Sun back up and then take care of Kyogre. This Basculegion wouldn't be as much of a threat as it is right now. So let's go ahead and see the swap coming in for the Groudon. As we do see Sallow swap in to his Lilligant here. And again, Lilligant does have the Focus Sash, so it's potentially live a hit, as we do see it triggering the Focus Sash right there. And Earthworm is an interesting Pokemon because it does have Shed Tail, it does have Body Press, as we see the Body Press coming into the Roaring Moon, and it is enough to secure the KO with another critical hit onto that Roaring Moon. That Roaring Moon is a critical hit magnet this game. And let's go ahead and see now with the Sun what all kind of happens here. There may be a priority move on that Basculegion, so potentially securing that KO on the Lilligant. But again, it's one of these situations where you kind of have to anticipate what your opponent's going to do. If you have any sort of protection, which there is no protection on the Lilligant, it seems like it's all attacking and maybe like, yeah, it's all attacking for the most part. So it's going to be really hard for the Cuernavaca Cyndaquils to kind of adjust here, because now the Basculegion, even though it doesn't have that Swift Swim, I think it might still be able to do some damage on this team. And then that Earthworm, Earthworm is really annoying to deal with physically. And we do see the Aqua Jet, which will secure the knockout on the Lilligant. And again, now it's all left to that Groudon, which it's going to be really tough to take care of both of these mons with just the Groudon. We do see the Body Press come in, hit with a lot of damage. We do see the Thunder Punch coming into the Basculegion slot, but it's not enough to secure the KO. That Basculegion posing a very big threat there. And again, not enough to secure the KO, so we're going to have to probably chip this one out as a win for the Kent Klawfs, which have been dominating this match. This whole match, really. The Kent Klawfs have kind of like held the Cuernavaca Cyndaquils to a standstill, as we do see the Last Respects for the KO on the Groudon again. So that's going to be a 1-0 so far for the Kent Klawfs as we move on to game 2 of the set. But again, very well played from both teams, and we're going to have to wait and see how they kind of adjust moving on to the next round of this set. Now, adjustments, again, I think you do have to focus on making sure you at all times have the weather in your side. I think if you let the rain kind of dominate your, like, the presence on the field, that Basculegion Kyogre combo is going to be very hard to deal with. Just the fact that they're going to outspeed you, even without the Tailwind, Basculegion can start outspeeding you. It's going to be very, very difficult to kind of overcome. So again, I think managing the Groudon is going to be very important, and then also managing the Tornadus and Kyogre on the opponent's side of the field is also going to be just as important. I think Slowbro could be something to consider if you do just want to live in terms of living against the opponent, in terms of just the weather, the water, the rain. I think you know, Slowbro could be a good choice. Again, if there is a Trick Room option as well on the Kent Klawfs' team, you know, you have the Ursaluna, Spiritomb, and Earthworm who can all benefit from that Trick Room. So do you potentially read that switch and go for that Slowbro on the Cuernavaca Cyndaquils side? But now that's the only Pokemon that really benefits, maybe like Groudon just a bit. But other than that, every other Pokemon on this team is relatively quick. I mean, Goldingo could potentially benefit depending on the spreads, but honestly, I think the Kent Klawfs just kind of go for the same move set and kind of same strategy here for this next turn, this next game. You know, that overpowering Tailwind and the Rain, I think it's going to be more than enough to take care of the Cuernavaca Cyndaquils if they play the game the same exact way they just did. So again, it's going to be very hard to kind of dominate here and do any sort of adjustment for the Cuernavaca Cyndaquils, as we do see them kind of buying time and kind of analyzing the opponent's team. And they do seem to opt to bring in the Slowbro here. So again, it's going to be very hard for them to adjust, and we're just going to have to see how the game plays out. I don't think Goldingo seems to be coming in. Again, it's a really hard brink to bring Goldingo in against an Ursaluna. Again, and the Kent Klawfs, I think they just bring in the same exact team. Lead off with Tornadus, Kyogre. It's really hard to kind of adjust there on the opponent's side. I think that Kyogre, Tornadus, and then you have that Basculegion in the back. That's going to be enough to kind of put the pressure as needed on the Cuernavaca Cyndaquils. Now let's go ahead and see what the leads are here, as we do see a Basculegion Tornadus. So again, very good lead there, as we do see the Slowbro Morgrem on this side on the Cuernavaca Cyndaquils. Again, you can anticipate a few things here, probably like a Rain Dance to trigger that Basculegion right off the bat. But you can get a Fake Out from the Morgrem onto Tornadus, so Basculegion not necessarily going to get the... As we do see an electric move here on the Morgrem, actually, so that might be something different. You might just be going straight offense instead of a Fake Out. And maybe the Kent Klawfs anticipate a Fake Out on the Basculegion on the Tornadus slot and just try to swap. It's going to be very interesting first turn here, because I think that's potentially what the Cuernavaca Cyndaquils are trying to go for. Trying to anticipate a swap and then not go for the Fake Out on the slot that they would just normally Fake Out. As we do see the Rain Dance come in, so again, the Kent Klawfs just went in with the moveset. They said it's not broken, we're not changing it. We do see the Thunder Wave going into the Basculegion, so even though it's under the rain, you know, that Thunder Wave will just set it, neutralize it, essentially. As we do see a Wave Crash is what it looks like, or Waterfall? Probably Waterfall, Wave Crash. We'll see some recoil damage, it'll be a Wave Crash. And that is a Wave Crash, so again, that just knocks out that Morgrem. As we do see the Trick Room come into play, which very interesting play there, because you Thunder Wave the Basculegion, and then you set up Trick Room, so you're kind of benefiting him. And now if you take away the rain, that Basculegion is still going to be faster. So it's very interesting how this turn is going to play out. And if the Kent Klawfs brought in Ursaluna in the back, you don't know that yet. So you might just be benefiting the opponent's team. Let's go ahead and see how this plays out. Now you're taking out the Sun. So again, Basculegion being paralyzed, it cuts its speed. Now that Trick Room is actually benefiting the Basculegion. So let's go ahead and see. We do see a Grass type move here coming into the Basculegion slot. It's going to be very difficult for, I think, the Cuernavaca Cyndaquils to get momentum here, because even though they do have that paralysis on Basculegion, I don't think that alone is going to be enough. As we do see a Terra coming in here from the Kent Klawfs, let's go ahead and see how this is going to go ahead and play out. Basculegion gonna go into the water type, so gonna go for a massive amount of damage is what it seems like here. And again, there is Prankster on Tornadus, so even if they wanted to kind of adjust the Weather Wars, they could do that. And we do see the Rain Dance coming in. So again, Rain Dance triggering again the speed. Very interesting how we're playing with the Speed Wars here, but there is Trick Room is still on the field. I want everyone to know that. I guess the Kent Klawfs are just going for damage output here with this rain boost. So we do see the Wave Crash going into the Groudon, securing the KO, and that hurt Sallow. Again, Sallow knows that did massive damage, and if there is a Kyogre on the opposing side of the field, I think that just ends the game. So let's go ahead and see what all exactly is going to go ahead and and show out here with Roaring Moon coming in from the opponent's side of the field, or from the Cuernavaca Cyndaquils side of the field, as we do see the Kyogre on the opponent's side of the field. So let's go ahead and see how this all plays out. I think it's really tough because we do have I think the Trick Room kind of hindered the Cuernavaca Cyndaquils a bit here, only because of the way things played out. Honestly, I think the utilization of Trick Room was not done well enough. I don't think so. Honestly, at this point, I'm not seeing a clear way for the Cuernavaca Cyndaquils to kind of even secure a win here. I think this is just going to go a 2-0 over to the Kent Klawfs, and they'll probably move into playoffs, as we do see a Thunder Fan going into the Tornadoes. But again, even with the critical hit, that thing does have a Focus Sash, which was not broken throughout the process here. And it's looking really difficult here, but let's go ahead and see how the Slowbro, I guess, kind of moves out. He goes for a Grass type move that looked like Grass Knot before. So it looks like it might be a Grass Knot on Kyogre and then a Breaking Swipe on both Mons. So now we're going to have to see how the Trick Room kind of benefits either team here. They've already used their Terra on Basket Legion, so you don't have to worry about Kyogre going for the Grass Terra anymore. So that Grass Knot is going to do a good amount of damage. Question here is going to be now whether or not we do see a Tailwind even with the Trick Room coming up. I mean, Trick Room will be expiring soon. As we do see the Grass Knot going into the Kyogre slot. How much damage? Oh, almost half. Not quite. As we do see the Breaking Swipe coming in, knocking out the Tornadoes, knocking Kyogre well below half. And now we have a very interesting match here, because unless if there is a Ursaluna in the back, we do see Ice Beam coming in, and not enough to secure the knockout here, which is very impressive. We do see the Life Orb chip on the Kyogre. We do see the Ursaluna. This is big. This is very big. So Ursaluna can do a few things here. Probably protect turn 1 so that you can secure that Flame Orb and then trigger your Guts. And then potentially you can look at just knocking out the Kyogre this turn. But the problem being, the opponent did set up a Tailwind. So you set up the Tailwind leading up to potentially, and there's 2 other turns it seemed like of Trick Room, but you set up the Tailwind in case Trick Room expires. So I think Ursaluna would still outspeed the Slowbro. The question here just now becomes, how do you take out this Ursaluna before it completely destroys your team? Because once that Ursaluna is just going at it, it's going to go on a complete rampage. As we do see the Protect from that Ursaluna. Another Protect from Kyogre, just buying out some time here. So again, this turn is just buying time and kind of scouting out to see what the Cuernavaca Cyndaquils are trying to do. And again, they can clearly see the Kent Klawfs that both the the Slowbro and now the Roaring Moon have the ability to lower attack with Breaking Swipe and that Chilling Water. So again, Ursaluna now gets burned. That Guts boost is going to be big. Typing out some information here because there's a lot of stuff going on in this match. Again, Kyogre's a threat, but that Ursaluna is a bigger threat in my opinion. At the point where this Kyogre is, it can't Water Spout you and knock you out quick enough. So again, I think the focus is Ursaluna. You can potentially leave that Kyogre there, as we do see it go for Ice Beam on Roaring Moon, but I don't think, I think that Protect will definitely keep it. We do see the Facade. It's, not quite enough, as we do see the Grass Knot onto Kyogre, but again, the issue here is now this Ursaluna is a big threat. So how are you going to handle the Ursaluna? As it stops raining now, which again, if you would have focused on the Ursaluna, you could have potentially just dealt with the Kyogre. But again, you have the Chilling Water. You have, believe it's Grass Knot, Slack Off, and Trick Room. We have Protect, Breaking Swipe, and I think that's Tailwind, and then an Electric move. Again, I I don't know if that was the best prioritization of targets. I think Ursaluna can live anything these two mons throw at it right now. So I think you definitely need to go for Chilling Water to try to get its attack stat down, and you definitely have to go for Breaking Swipe, but that's all you can really do. As you do see the Breaking Swipe come in, hits the Ursaluna. Again, that attack is going to drop. As we do see an Earthquake coming in, and is this going to be enough to secure the KO? It's enough to secure the KO on Slowbro. Again, the Breaking Swipe is not doing enough damage on the Ursaluna, so even if you got a few more of them, Ursaluna is going to continue to live them. And again, I think this is it. The Kent Klawfs will be securing their spot in the championship match. Again, there would have to be some sort of miracle here for there to be a game 3. At this point, I think it's pretty safe to say. So again, congratulations to the Kent Klawfs, as all they really need to do is secure the victory here with this final exchange of attacks, as we do see the Breaking Swipe coming in from the Roaring Moon. Ursaluna is going to get another attack drop, but it's going to go ahead and finish off the Roaring Moon, and the Kent Klawfs are now officially going to be playing in the championship match next week. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll catch you guys there with the rest of the crew to commentate the final match of the season.